here, bring you a wonderful. Finally, I got some. Well, I wouldn't say I finally got some news. I always get some good news. I always get news, whether it be good or bad. But today, I think I finally got a little bit of good news, or I saw a little bit of good news, is that I finally got to see when the next hunting dates for Georgia is, for the state of Georgia. I'm still waiting on the state of South Carolina, because this hunting season, I'm actually going to hunt in South Carolina. Since I work in South Carolina, I might as well go ahead and hunt a little bit while I'm over here, right? But I finally got to see when Georgia's hunting dates are for the 2021-2022 hunting years are. And I'm super excited because, one, I'm getting into dove hunting, and this year dove hunting opens up a week right before opening day of archery deer season. So it opens up September, 7 days? It opens up September 4th, and also they made some changes to those rules too. And for opening day, in the past, for opening day, you had to wait till noon before you could start shooting. Now you can start shooting at first light, which is okay. I mean, hey, it is what it is, which is exciting. I'm still excited for it, and I think it's like 15 bag limit per person or something of that nature. I can't quite remember, but so yeah, opening days finally I finally have those dates for it, and then for September 11th is opening day for archery, and I'm super excited for that because I got a brand new bow that I've been practicing with, been getting my skills in with it a little bit like that. So I can't wait to actually get my shot at some good old archery in the early deer season. Try to give you one before it starts getting cold, before rut starts kicking in. So I'm super excited about it. I'm just waiting on South Carolina's dates for it. Now, South Carolina's dates are going to be, might be slightly different. I don't think they're going to be too much different from Georgia's, but they're going to be slightly different. However, I do expect bag limits for non-residents for South Carolina, especially on the deer side, to be a little different. I know for turkey, it's already different, because South Carolina residents, you're able to kill up to 3 turkeys per year, but as a non-resident, as hunting in South Carolina, legally I can only get 2 turkeys, and I'm going to stick with that. I want to make sure, I'm going to own. So my goals, I didn't get any damn turkeys this year, unfortunately. Of course, it's my first year actually turkey hunting, but next year I'm optimistic. I'm looking forward to it more and more each year. So I'm really looking more and more for it each day, really. And also the fact that I saw some damn turkeys on my way to work, just crossing the road nonchalantly. Of course, you'd start seeing turkeys well after season and stuff is over, which, hey, it is what it is. But I'm honestly so looking forward to it, because I'm trying to change my lifestyle a little bit, mainly my food type lifestyle a little bit. And what I mean by that is I'm not into the gardening, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to get my own garden, or I'm not fully down into practicing that lifestyle where I start pickling and canning my own vegetables, things of that nature. But I am trying to dabble into getting more, especially the meat wise, procuring my own meat myself and processing it and prepping it and everything myself. Now, for the red meat, that's honestly easy. That's going to be more of the venison of that nature, and venison of that nature, which is perfectly fine. I mean, this honestly works out a little bit better for me, because my wife is not much of a carnivore as much as I am. So she doesn't really care too much about the meats per se. She will eat a little bit, but she doesn't really eat as much. She doesn't think the attention to the plate is the meat. It's the sides that go with it. That's just the way her thinking is with it. Of course, she doesn't eat as much as I do in a sitting anyways, or altogether all the way. But so what that means is that I believe the meat will go longer for the family and stuff. And also, I'm looking forward to trying different kinds of ground recipes, like ground meat recipes in particular, because typically how I typically do the deer, and I only shot one last year, and I made some ground beef, I made the typical stuff, try to get some cutlets in, things of that nature. I'm actually looking forward to trying to experiment and get further into the procurement of meat and things of that nature. Like expanding like the type of ground beef I make, experiment with percentages, things of that nature, and experiment with different ways of cooking it too, because a lot of people that I've found are a little bit weird when it comes to cooking wild game meat. Why? Because they always feel as though they don't know how to cook it. Well, I find that a little strange, simply because I don't see... The only thing I see different in the content of wild game meat versus the content of domesticated meat is fat. Domesticated meat typically has a lot more fat. Now, I'm on a case in point this, and this is going to be my argument. Now, a lot of people will make the argument, it's like, well, deer is different than cow. Yes, it is. Okay, so let's talk about pig meat. Pork. Okay, typically the pork you get from the grocery store is white, a little bit on the whiter side. Why? Because it's more fattier than its wild cousin. Its wild cousin, let me tell you, the game meat on wild pig, wild hog, is more red. It's almost, the way I look at it, it's very similar to deer meat when you're skinning it and butchering it. It's very similar to it. Now, a lot of people also don't like wild meat because they say it's too gamey, if you will. Now, I don't understand what it means to be too gamey. Oh, heck no, I've got to get by this mofo. I'm behind a student driver. This is the second time I've actually been behind a student driver. Today, as a matter of fact. But anyways, it looks like Disney. It is Disney. Anyways, so everybody says that game meat tastes too gamey or whatever the hell that means. Honestly, I have no idea what that means, only because it's just, I know it's different. I believe it all comes down to the way you cook and handle your meat, like the type of presentation, like the way you cook and handle the meat. Now, people get intimidated by cooking wild game meat because they're afraid they're going to mess it up. Now, the only way you can practice and understand the taste that you can do with wild game meat is if you actually cook it different ways and experiment with it. The same with regular food, okay? And you can cook wild game meat. Like, for instance, I'm going to try one of the first deers I kill next year, or the hunt season coming up. I'm going to try cooking it the same exact way I cook the beef. In other words, cooks beef steak. In other words, I'm going to cook it. I'm going to marinate it in the same type of sauces I always marinate the beef normal steak in. I'm going to grill it the same way. Now, I will admit that I'm not going to cook it rare like I typically do with my steak, because I like my steak rare. Now, I won't cook wild game meat rare. I'm going to cook it on the finished side, simply because I'm not too confident. Now, I fully understand that. Well, it's also the fact that I also want to get my wife into eating it a little more, and she only eats things a little bit more well done. I will experiment with cooking it maybe medium, but I ain't gonna do rare. Only because I'm not too confident in eating rare wild game meat or mid-rare wild game meat compared to some other folks who have better luck with it. Only because of where the animal's been. I have no idea. I do know where a domesticated animal is, and that's another thing why people are afraid of eating wild game meat. They don't know where that animal's been or what the animal technically eats. It's a shame. It's a shame, really, because there's a lot of fresh meat out there that you can really attain if you put your boots to the ground and get out there. Anyways, I just wanted to post it because I'm looking forward to ever since I've decided to get back into hunting and get back to nature, I've been looking more and more forward to doing those type of activities. And speaking of which, I wouldn't say a new activity, an activity that's coming up for me in a few days is I'm going fishing. I'm going fishing down in Louisiana. My side of the family is inviting, says, hey, come on down, we'll catch a bunch of fish and stuff of that nature. We went there last year, it's gonna be great. I'm like, you know what, screw it. I've been prattling on about wanting to get back into hunting, wanting to get back into fishing, wanting to get back into camping. And when an opportunity presents itself, I'm going to take it. My wife thinks I'm a little crazy, but she fully understands that this is something for me, and this is something I thoroughly enjoy, and it's something that's I believe is going to be part of my lifestyle, and it's also something I would love to share with my child, my 2-year-old. When she starts getting older, I would love to share being able to go fishing with her, being able to experience the joys of hunting, the disappointments of hunting. So yeah, we'll see coming up and everything how that all goes. I'm going to push it for her, but obviously I'm not going to force her to go do it, because that's one thing you don't want to force your children to do. Is something that even though you might enjoy it, they might not enjoy it. I just hope that she does enjoy it as much as I do, and realizes that it's not just about the hunting. For me, it's not just about it. It's the camaraderie that comes with it. Yes, a lot of hunting and fishing sometimes goes with you by yourself, alone. But the stories you can tell from, man, I missed that big son of a gun, or I had it in my sights, but it just caught behind a tree and it busted me, or man, that fish I had earlier on today. You can have those stories to share with fellow members of the family, fellow outdoors people. So it really is a weird thing. We are blessed in the United States for the option of not having to do it. You don't have to do it, but for some of us that want to do it, don't knock down on us for wanting to experience life in a different way than yours, right? Because deal with some people that don't agree with hunting, who strangely enough still agree with fishing and also eating beef. Very weird. Anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope look forward from hearing from you guys. So to do that, you're gonna have to give me a like, comment, and subscribe right down below there, and look forward to the next video. And as always, I hope you guys have a wonderful, blessed day.